Reports of missile strikes, talk of naval deployments, and Japan's name suddenly in the middle of it all. Is the world heading toward a wider conflict, or is social media exaggerating the truth? Let's break it down. The real story, fact-based narration. Recent posts circulating on platforms like X claim that the United States has launched strikes on Iran and that Japan is preparing to join a military conflict. But here's what we actually know. US and Iran tensions. Tensions between the United States and Iran have existed for decades, involving sanctions, military presence in the Middle East, and disputes over nuclear programs. The US does maintain a strong naval presence in the region. However, claims of a confirmed large-scale attack like the one described in the post are not verified by credible international news sources. Viral posts often exaggerate or misinterpret military movements or past events. Bottom line, there's no confirmed evidence of a major new US strike on Iran as described in those screenshots. Japan has a pacifist constitution created after World War II. This constitution limits Japan's ability to engage in offensive military actions. Japan does have a self-defense force, mainly for protection and peacekeeping. It is also a key ally of the US, hosting American military bases. Recently, Japan has shown concern about global oil supply routes, especially around the Strait of Hormuz. In the past, Japan has considered sending naval forces for surveillance or mine-clearing missions, but not for direct combat. There is no confirmed decision that Japan is joining a war against Iran. Why this story is trending? Social media posts like the ones you saw often mix real geopolitical tensions with speculation, use emotional language like war, attack, or collapse, lack confirmation from trusted outlets like BBC, Reuters, or Al Jazeera. This creates fear and makes the situation seem bigger or more immediate than it actually is. But the truth is, US-Iran tensions are real. Japan is a US ally. The Strait of Hormuz is critical for global oil, but unverified/misleading here are a confirmed US missile strike on Iran in this context, Japan preparing to join the war, claims that Japan is funding or actively fighting. Right now, there is no confirmed global war involving the US, Iran, and Japan. What we are seeing is rising geopolitical tension, strategic positioning, and a lot of misinformation spreading fast online. If you want real fact-checked global updates without the hype, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because in today's world, knowing the truth matters more than ever. Just when the world expected a massive explosion, the US stepped back. But was it peace or just a trap? While Trump claims negotiations are ongoing, Iran says there's nothing happening. So who's telling the truth? With the Strait of Hormuz still under threat, one wrong move could trigger a global crisis. One US suddenly delays major attack. The US was preparing heavy strikes on Iran's power and energy infrastructure, but now President Donald Trump has paused those attacks for 5 days, according to the Washington Post +1. He claims productive talks are happening with Iran. This is the first sign of possible diplomacy since the war began. But Iran denies any talks. Iran quickly responded saying there are no negotiations with the US. The Washington Post, Iranian media are even calling the US move a sign of weakness. So right now, both sides are telling different stories. Very suspicious. The big threat still stands. Even with the delay, the US warning is still active. If Iran doesn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz, major global oil route, then the US could launch massive attacks on Iran's infrastructure. According to The Guardian, this means the war is not over, just paused. Global fear rising. The US has issued a worldwide security alert, warning that Iran-linked groups may attack US targets globally. This war is no longer just Middle East. It could spread economic impact big one. Oil prices dropped after the pause announcement. Global markets reacted positively. Why? Because this war has already disrupted energy supply, threatened 20% of global oil flow. The real situation right now, the war still ongoing, fighting reduced but not stopped. Risk extremely high, outcome uncertain, could escalate anytime. The delay might not be peace, it could be time to reposition military forces, time to stabilize global oil markets, or pressure Iran without firing a shot. Just when the world expected a massive explosion, the US stepped back. But was it peace or just a trap? While Trump claims negotiations are ongoing, Iran says there's nothing happening. So who's telling the truth? With the Strait of Hormuz still under threat, one wrong move could trigger a global crisis. Just when the world expected a massive US strike on Iran, everything suddenly stopped. Slan. But here's the scary part. This might not be peace. It could be the calm before a much bigger war. Despite the pause, the US has issued a serious warning. If Iran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil routes, massive strikes could still happen at any moment. And it doesn't stop there. The US has also released a global security alert, warning that Iran-linked groups could target American interests worldwide. This means the conflict is no longer just between the US and Iran, it could spread across different countries. For now, the fighting has slowed down, but the danger is far from over. Some experts believe this pause is not about peace, but strategy, a chance to prepare for something even bigger. So the real question is this the beginning of the end? Or just the beginning of a much larger war? Make sure you subscribe to Legal TV right now and turn on notifications live because the next update on this war could change everything.